Peoria is hosting the third annual job fair on November 7th, 2013 from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Peoria Sports Complex. Here in the studio with me is Debbie Pearson, Peoria's Business Development Specialist, and Joe Turf from Goodwill. That's the event's sponsor. Welcome to you both.
Thank you for having us.
So Debbie, this is the third year that the city's hosting the job fair. Why is the city involved in job fairs?
Great question, Elizabeth. As you know, the recession has displaced very employable people. The city responded to this need and attempts to match employers with the job seekers. And what better way to do it than in a big way with having an annual job fair?
Debbie, how will this year's fair compare to last year's?
Well, it's going to be bigger and better than ever because of the reputation we've gained by offering a top-notch event the last 2 years. The city and our partners have over 150 employers that will be attending, and we expect to have thousands of positions offered. We also hope that thousands of attendees are going to be coming searching for a job. Along with this, we will have the Entrepreneur's Corner for those looking to start a business as opposed to getting a job, and then there's also going to be some fabulous workshops that are going to be spoken about in further detail during the show.
Joe, the Goodwill has been organizing job fairs for several years.
Yes.
How has it changed over the last 5 years?
You know, the change over the past 5 years has been significant, and a lot of that has been driven by the fact that when you apply for a job today, you have to do that largely online, and the importance of the job fair cannot be overstated. This is an opportunity for job seekers to be able to speak to employers face-to-face, to make that good first impression. You know, a lot of job seekers are frustrated and say, hey, I can only get to an employer online. This is their best and greatest opportunity to break through that barrier.
We were talking earlier about numbers. How many job fairs does the Goodwill put on every year?
Sure. Goodwill of Central Arizona, we conduct about 130 job fairs and employer hiring events a year. We also put on about a dozen regional events throughout the community, as well as what we call kind of the Super Bowl of job fairs, a region-wide career expo at University of Phoenix Stadium. We do that in the spring of each year.
And I think people would be surprised by some of the numbers and the services that Goodwill offers.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. So we have a number of different services that we provide job seekers when they're looking for work. We can assist job seekers with resume preparation, with getting prepared to nail that interview and knowing how to do that. We have a number of wonderful services that we provide at 18 career centers throughout the Valley and in Yuma. And those career centers are open to the public Monday through Friday. There's absolutely no cost for any of this to job seekers. So there's a lot going on and a lot of services available, and this is all possible because of the generous donations of people to our Goodwill stores. We sell those donations, and 90 cents of every dollar gets reinvested back into the community. Goodwill itself, you may not know, employs 2,000 people here in Central Arizona. So most of that job placement activity, is outside of Goodwill.
I am truly impressed by these numbers. That's terrific. And Debbie, is the job fair strictly for Peoria companies and residents?
I'm so glad you asked that question. This is a regional event, third year regional. What that means is any employer in the area is welcome and any job seeker looking for a job. It's just not for Peoria companies or residents. As a matter of fact, we have almost all the surrounding cities having companies attending, even going down as far as Tucson.
Debbie, how are you promoting this event?
Our Office of Communication pushes the event out to the media, puts it on Facebook and on Twitter. I also have an extensive contact list myself that when I send them the information, they push it out to their contacts. I work with my partners too, and I'm going to let Joe speak to that point.
Sure.
Perfect.
Goodwill's going to make a sizable investment in marketing the event this year. We'll certainly push it out through email to our tens of thousands of job seekers that we have registered with Goodwill. We'll certainly also promote it through social media. But really adding to that, one of the more effective means of communicating this is through flyers and actually, posters at, just coffee shops, places where anyone, congregates together. So we'll be doing that. And we'll also support this with some level of media buy to make sure that the word gets out and that folks understand where to be at what time. And really, in that messaging will include the listing of employers that will be on our website and the website of our partners, including the city, I believe. But we're also going to keep reporting the number of jobs that are represented at that event. So like last year, almost 4,000 jobs were represented at that one event. And if 2,000 people came, well, there's an average of 2 opportunities per person. It's really, those kind of numbers I think are significant and important for people to know. And we'll make sure that those kinds of things get pushed out to the public before this event.
Those are terrific numbers and so hopeful for everyone. This sounds terrific. Let's take a look at some of last year's job fair activity.
Well, what we have out here today is we've got a job fair where we have 140 employers that are attending with over 3,500 open positions. It was a partnership between the City of Peoria, Goodwill, and Maricopa Workforce Connection. And basically it was just set out to find an opportunity for as many people as we could to get employment as quickly as we can.
I think it's so great that the city gets involved, especially when the citizens have such a great opportunity to come out to talk to, I think, over 120, 130 employers that were here today. It's such a great resource for the community and a great use of the community's resources to be able to come out here and put something on and give everybody kind of a one-stop shop to look at employers in a lot of different industries.
We've also do have a lot of educational institutions that were interested in being involved, and we've kind of tried to cluster them together, and we call it our retraining corner. Also, if you're not looking for a job and you'd like to start your own business, we have an entrepreneurial corner, which is the organizations that City of Peoria partners with regularly that offer free services to those looking to start a business.
We don't have access to some of this stuff, so them helping us out with that kind of stuff, that's a big deal, because some people just need a push in the right direction or a nice step in the right direction, and that's what this is, a step in the right direction.
I think searching online for jobs is kind of time-consuming and a little overwhelming sometimes, and this is narrows it down to what we want to do and people we've already talked to.
The biggest things you need to do is don't assume you know that company and what they're hiring for. So at any job fair you go to, make sure you go to each and every employer and see what they need. To go back to Goodwill, if you look at Goodwill and go, oh, I don't want to work in retail, I have experience in IT. We have IT. We have a huge IT department. We have an IT department that has to support 50 locations.
What we're looking for here is to talk to people about opportunities that we have at Schwab, because a lot of folks think that maybe we're just hiring for experienced financial sales or financial advice. And we're looking for, like I said, customer service, technology. So our goal here today is to talk to people about the opportunities that we have.
So go to each table, bring plenty of resumes. Go up to the employer and make sure that employer knows who you are and what you can bring to the table. Don't just say, what kind of positions do you have? You go up to the table, you say, hey, introduce yourself. These are the skill sets I have. Do any of these fit within the skill sets that you're looking for? And then they'll bring up those conversations. You can actually talk about positions that are available.
What we're looking for is folks that maybe they don't know exactly what they're looking to do, but they just are not scared to come up to us and really start in a conversation.
Most companies, what they're going to do is they're going to ask you to go online, fill out their online application. What you need to do is when you come to this event is make sure you get the business card of the recruiter so you have someone to follow up with. So you don't just feel, oh, I just got to go online, I got to fill this out. You've got to take it to the next level where you send a follow-up email, call, whatever it may be, to that recruiter, because that person has the ability to go in most cases, and look through everybody who's applied. And if you're a person who they know they've met, and then you've made another follow-up, you're somebody who has some initiative, they're going to want to bring you in for an interview.
Wow, that gives me a lot of confidence, really. Just to see somebody interested in your background and not really know anything about you, that's pretty big. That gives me confidence to go and approach other places. Just to give it a shot.
I think that it's the beginning of the turn of the economy, and I think next year there's going to be even more growth in the jobs, and there'll be more employees needed at companies.
What a wonderful opportunity to get yourself out there and do some networking. Joining me now are Scott Soldat from the Peoria Chamber and Heath Anderson from Maricopa Workforce Connections to talk more about the job fair. Thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you. Good morning.
And this is the third year that both Chamber and Maricopa Workforce Connections are partnering with the city on the annual job fair. What is each of your roles in the job fair? Scott?
We're excited to be able to host the breakfast for the employer along with some of our partners in the community who are providing the food.
Terrific. And Heath, what about your role in the job fair?
We have a variety of functions. First and foremost, we are helping with the employer attraction to the event. We are also promoting the event through our other workforce development partners and working throughout the day to help make sure that it's a success.
So tell us more about this employer breakfast you're going to be hosting.
The employer breakfast is a really exciting opportunity for us to thank the employers for being there, allow them to enjoy some breakfast Danish and bakery items from Costco and Sam's Club, who are also going to be attending. And most importantly, I think the mayor's speaking to welcome everyone and demonstrate appreciation from the city of Peoria for their involvement in the job fair.
Oh, that's terrific. And Heath, Maricopa Workforce Connections is putting together workshops for job seekers. Can you tell us more about that?
These workshops are more like a workforce boot camp. Our focus is helping job seekers know how best to work a job fair. We want them to make the most of this networking and information gathering opportunity, know what to ask and what to expect to be asked. A new component for this year is a job forum. We have an employer panel speaking directly to job seekers, helping them put their best foot forward and separate themselves from a very competitive job-seeking market.
Heath, Maricopa Workforce Connections offers services for both employers and job seekers. Can you tell us more about those services?
Along with the combined Arizona workforce development bodies, we at Maricopa Workforce Connections operate one-stop career centers where we help job seekers either re-employ or better employ, utilizing tools such as career assessments, modern job searching techniques, resume production, and interview preparation. We service adults and youth, as well as have a dedicated veterans unit. At the same time, we provide services to employers. We call this business services. We can produce dedicated custom recruitings from a single event all the way to a full-scale job fair such as the one we're talking about today. Our goal is to help reduce the cost of employers' recruiting through providing them highly skilled candidates and up-to-date labor market information so that we keep their jobs in this state.
Fantastic. And the city certainly has aligned itself with some dynamic partners. Thank you both for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.